Let's talk about this guy. So this is a Fuji X100s. I just bought this a couple days ago, used off of a like a private seller on one of those Craigslist type. Well, not Craigslist, but one of the ones we use up here in Canada. That's more popular than Craigslist. Anyways, so the X100s, and you're probably thinking, well, why would I have bought this when I have the X Pro 2? Well, I was thinking, I'm going on a vacation coming up shortly, and I've always wanted to get the 23mm f2 for the X Pro 2. But I ended up finding a really good deal on the 27mm Pancake. And I also have the 16mm 16mm 1.4. So I said, yeah, well, if I get the 23mm, am I really going to need the 27 anymore? Well, the answer is yeah. The more lenses you have, the better. But because they're so close in focal length, even though one's 2, one's 2.8, I don't know. So I figured, okay, so I'll buy the f2. So I looked online, and they're pretty much out of stock everywhere. So that was another problem. And if I wanted it in an in-stock location, it was $550 Canadian, and I did see it drop down to 500, but I missed that sale, and I said, okay, well, maybe next time it goes on sale, I'll grab it. But another dilemma I was having with the X Pro 2, which is not a dilemma because this is a totally different camera than the 100 series. Obviously, it's interchangeable lenses and XYZ and everything else. I really knew that I was going to miss the high-speed sync leaf shutter on this, as well as the ND filter, which is not available on this because obviously this has interchangeable lenses and a focal plane shutter. So I said, well, what's the cost? What's it going to cost me to get an old X100? Now I had the X100T before I bought this. I took that on vacation, and the X100T was great. No issues with it. Loved it. Used the ND filter in a lot of cases. Didn't use the high-speed shutter flash sync too many times on the last vacation, just because I don't know, not too much time to mess around with flashes, and when you have someone else with you, they kind of want to hurry you up, and let's go do this instead of taking pictures. But anyways, so this cost me $450 Canadian. So $450 versus $500 to $550 brand new plus tax for the 23mm f2. So I thought at that price, this is kind of a no-brainer, because this still has the X-Trans 2 sensor in there, which is the same sensor that the X100T has as well. We all know the slight shortcomings of the X100S is, the autofocus isn't as quick, and the way they laid out the dials and the menu is a little more quirky. It's still got the wheel, everything like that. And it's got, the rear command dial thing that's kind of wonky. I've checked it out. I've reset it. I've checked out some pics on it. It's working great. And it has about 15,000 shutter actuations. With the X100 series, every time you flip to EVF and OVF and go to the back LCD, that also counts as shutter actuations. So really, it's probably about half that is my guess, maybe 6,000. So that's not too bad. So now I have a 35mm equivalent lens on a totally separate camera. So now I can shoot with two bodies, or I can give this body to someone else to shoot with while I shoot the X Pro 2. We can switch, so I can have a wide angle on this full time, and have my 35mm on this shooting separately, which I think is a better option than getting the 23mm f2 for this guy. Now, I probably want the 23mm f2 for this guy at some point, but just because of timing and everything coming up, I thought this is a really smart idea to do that instead. So that's it. So tell me what you think about that idea, and I'm going to be taking some shots with the X100S and with the X Pro 2, and we're going to do a comparison to see if anyone can actually figure out which image came from what camera. 24 megapixel X-Trans 3, 16 megapixel X-Trans 2. Talk to you later.